Hello people, Nintendo Marijuana here, bringing you another reaction video. This time is going to be on Maddie Munchkin's, blathering about Ned Flanders is the devil. And I know what she's talking about. A really old Simpsons movie where Ned Flanders is the devil. It's what you least expect. Yeah. Anyways, let's hear her thoughts on this and see if she can get me interested or something. Starting in 3, 2, 1, start.
I don't know about you, but I think we are due some divine intervention. The good kind. Whatever you may interpret that to be. Or maybe just
Nick,
have
the
a white
framework
wine
looks pretty
spitzer and
good.
a bite of the forbidden donut. Remember, don't eat the whole thing or we will be doomed to watch 639 episodes of The Simpsons non-stop back to back. Maybe they'll stop making them when they hit 666. Oh, darn it.
666. Welcome to hell.
Well, I guess I better lie, cheat, steal, and listen to heavy metal music now.
We salute you, our half-inflated Dark Lord.
The Simpsons are...
Ooh.
is the longest running American sitcom and seems to be on borrowed time. A satirical depiction of American family life, the show parodies American culture, society, television, and as I've said in other videos I've done on this show, the human condition. Growth, emotion,
It's funny because she's Scottish and Scrooge McDuck was Scottish and he went to America just to become the richest duck in the world. Yeah, that's it. Scottish stereotyping is fun. Anyways, continuing.
aspiration, conflict, and mortality. Nothing is left untouched. Philosophy, history, art, literature, anthropology, psychology, and of course, religion. Since Fox sold its soul to Satan, I mean Disney, in March 2019, The Simpsons is now a Disney property. So of course, it makes total sense, since they are responsible for the first animated depiction of Satan, to now own a show that has multiple depictions of the devil and demons in general. Though whenever the devil does appear in The Simpsons, it's not considered canon or concrete, because he either appears in dreams, visions, or in Halloween episodes. It does mean that The Simpsons can have as many versions of the devil as they want, but it also dilutes the devil's appearances somewhat since there's little to no consistency. But in almost every episode he appears in, the episode has a theme of one of the 7 deadly sins. Though the 7 deadly sins are not mentioned in the Bible at all, at least not specifically named that as a group anyway, they basically serve as the polar opposites of the 7 heavenly virtues: chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility. The first depiction of the devil shown in The Simpsons was in Bart Gets Hit by a...
I'm starting to think that oh, for crying out loud. Anyways, I'm starting to think that Charlie might be just envy. In a sense, she's being way too kind. In a sense, or was that hateful? Envy, right? Envy is the opposite of kindness. Never mind. I don't know much about the 7 deadly sins. I only know lust, greed, wrath, pride, sloth. That's all I know. Those are the most common sins I'm more familiar with. Okay, continuing.
a car in season 2, released in 1991. Bart is out playing on his skateboard when Mr. Burns hits him with his car. As the title implies. Though it wasn't deliberate, Mr. Burns shows no remorse. The episode shows Bart having an out-of-body experience, showing his soul leaving his body and going up a golden escalator to heaven. When instructed not to spit over the side, why would that be an instruction? Chekhov's gun has been put in place. You know he's gonna do it, self-sabotaging himself, causing the escalator to turn into a slide, sending him down to hell, or at least Bart's vision of hell, and we see a Simpsons parody of the Hieronymus Bosch painting The Garden of Earthly Delights. The art nerd in me just had a mini nerdgasm at that. Oh, come on, I said nerdgasm, not— The devil here shows himself to be modelled after the character Herman, so—
They basically censored nerdgasm, demonetizing it. Everyone knows that nerdgasm isn't actually an orgasm. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get demonetized, but to be fair, I can't monetize anyway, so I'm counting my blessings. Continuing.
I'll refer to this depiction as Herman Devil. In this episode, greed is a major theme, showing Homer pursuing a huge cash settlement after Mr. Burns hits Bart with his car. Though Bart only had a concussion and a broken toe, Lionel Hutz convinces Homer to lie to the court about Bart's injuries so they could sue Mr. Burns for $1 million. Hey guys, do you know what perjury means? Herman Devil appears again just 3 episodes later in Homer vs. Lisa and the 8th Commandment in the 13th episode of season 2. This episode deals with the 10 Commandments and has a reference to the movie The 10 Commandments, released in 1956, one of my personal favourites. It shows Homer in biblical times stealing things and Moses.
A little side note, it is possible that the 7 deadly sins may be in the 10 Commandments. It just, hold on. Yeah. Anyways, it may be in the 10 Commandments. It just makes reference to the other 3, which is basically obey thy mother and father and stuff like that. Just some stuff. Just saying. Anyways, continuing.
Moses giving the first Sermon on the Mount. The episode mainly deals with dishonesty, temptation, and theft. We also see Ned Flanders yelling at the shifty cable guy for offering to install illegal cable for $50. Homer's outlook on illegal cable or theft in general is that if everyone does it, that makes it okay. Because after all, stealing cable or piracy or, plagiarism are victimless crimes, right? The episode also talks about modern day convenience, and Bart and Lisa learn about hell in Sunday school. Because, of course they do. Because God will not force conformity.
Welcome to hell, where our moralists suffer eternally.
Since he gave us free will, hell is the logical consequence of using free will to reject union with God. Though as a Christian myself, I don't believe hell is a literal place like some Christians do. The Sunday school teacher talks about hell like it is a real place, describing hell as a terrible place where
maggots are your sheet, worms your blanket. There's a lake of fire burning with sulfur. You'll be tormented day and night forever and ever. As a matter of fact, if you actually saw hell, you'd be so frightened you would die.
Talk about fear-mongering. Hey, let's scare the kids into believing in God. That's how faith works, right? When Lisa learns about—
Yeah, fear-mongering. It's been really, really annoying in those days. By the way, I'll probably put a link in the description to John Tron's, what was it called again? Dark Dungeons review. It goes a little farther from there, aside from the jokes. If you enjoy her blethering, then you probably might like John Tron just going comedic on it. Continuing.
Hell and how to avoid being sent there, you must follow the 10 Commandments. She has a vision of hell, and we see Herman Devil again tempting Lisa into watching illegal cable TV.
It won't cost you a thing, except your soul.
Why is the world such a cesspool of corruption?
I don't know. Why do I have blue hair? It's an inevitability.
Because of man, Lisa. Because of man. Man disobeyed God. Now they sin. No, really, that's what the Bible says. It was because of man, particularly Adam and Eve. But we are bundled into this because, well, you know, because man sins. Yeah. you could say you could say actually I am a Christian, but to be fair, I don't talk much about my religion unless it's necessary, such as here. Continuing.
But the reiteration of the devil I really want to talk about, and the one you probably clicked on the video for, is from season 5 and the 4th episode of the Treehouse of Horror Halloween specials, more specifically the segment called The Devil and Homer Simpson. The very idea of Ned Flanders, a good, friendly, Christian family man, being the devil is perfect. Why? Well, as the episode said, it's always the person you least suspect. Ned Flanders' religion was not mentioned in his first few appearances, and in the first few seasons he was only mildly religious, and his primary role was to be so cloyingly perfect as to annoy and shame the Simpsons, whereas Homer Simpson has always hated Ned Flanders and tries to undermine him. In the Bible, 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14, it tells us that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light for the purpose of deceiving the human race, to portray himself as good, truthful.
Okay, I actually remember seeing this in Gaijin Goomba's Smash Ultimate interpretation, Culture Shock. Yeah, that is some good some good peripheral right there. Continuing.
Loving and strong. The funny thing is, Ned is also left-handed. The left hand symbolized the power to shame society and was used as a metaphor for misfortune, natural evil, or punishment from the gods. Not only does he refuse to repress his own left-handedness, he operates a store that caters specifically to left-handed people. If nothing else, it is a shrine of arrogance to an unholy preference of dexterity. I may be reading too much into this. Ned appears to be the perfect
It's a good thing I'm just a left-handed writer, and I'm mostly right-handed. Otherwise, I'd be going to hell. Yeah, that sucked. Continuing.
neighbor, the nicest guy ever, the opposite of Homer in every single way, and a devout Christian. Homer dislikes Ned for no real reason other than he may secretly want to be just like him. More to the point, it somehow feels satisfying to see him as the devil, since in early seasons, Ned's kindness and unshakable happiness felt inauthentic somehow. Having Ned Flanders as the devil makes Homer's rare moment of clarity when he doesn't eat the last bite of the forbidden donut makes his gloating all the more personal.
I'm smarter than the devil. I'm smarter than the devil.
He's finally outsmarted Ned, at least within the canon of our Halloween episode. Ned has the odd habit of attaching diddly and doodly and other nonsensical phrases to his sentences. Hi diddly ho neighborino is a common example. This is the result of sublimated anger caused by his upbringing, anger which has no other outlet. The main problem with Ned to me is that he ended up over time becoming the embodiment of almost every single negative stereotype of the God-fearing, Bible-thumping American Christian evangelist. He was originally meant to be Homer's opposite, a contrasting character to Homer that showed what life could be like if he was just a little kinder. Though this change for Ned was gradual, the act of taking a single or minor action or trait of a character and exaggerating it until it consumes the character entirely is now named after Ned. Flanderization.
Yeah. This TV trope has been there for so long. Whether or not if it works for you or not is mostly subjective. Though she might get into this later. So yeah, continuing.
Though Flanderization doesn't have to be a bad thing necessarily, it can be used to expand on a character's personality when they are brought to the foreground. It can be beneficial on a cast-wide scale. In the case of The Simpsons, which is full of zany, outlandish personas, Ned was technically one of the straight men and sadly has had very little character development beyond friendly Christian neighbour. But again, this just makes seeing him depicted as the devil all the more satisfying. Doing this does give his characters some development in a non-canonical sense, which in season 5 was the first time this was really done with any character in the show if I remember right. Definitely one of the most interesting depictions of the devil in animation, at least in context of the show, and one of the most memorable. Now on to the next animated devil. Join me in the next video and we'll be accused of being Satanists once again. I'm Maddie Munchkin, stay creative. Holy cow, this video took a long time to put together. There was so much research I had to do for this one, and although I didn't watch all, what, 639 episodes or something it is now, I did have to watch a lot of episodes of The Simpsons to put this video together, so it was such a headache. Anyway, I wanted to give my Patreon supporters a shout out. These videos would not be possible without you guys, so I want to give a shout out to my top Patreons. So this month we have Lance Wolfstar, Pyrodron, Rainbow Dash Fan, James the Brony, Devon T. Jemming, Risky Dragon, OLD, Seeker, Sanjay DK, DELC 17, Transformer Brett,
Yeah, I'll end this
Invisible.
right here since, well, it's just Patreon shoutouts. Anyways, I was Ned Flanders is the devil, and to be fair, everything she went over, that was basically true. I'm just pointing it out there. If you don't believe me, then, I don't know, watch a video. I'll probably put in the link in the description so you can, and see if she has any sources. I don't know where I can find these sources. It might be better. Anyways, I just highly recommend you just look up. I just say you just look up series search, I guess, or whatever kind of household appliance or whatever you use for searching up things. Basically a computer. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Without further ado, Lieutenant Marijuana signing off.